All right, guys, welcome back to the Wedding Venues official YouTube channel. If you've been here before, glad you're here. But I'm Carson Bruce, wedding DJ and videographer. I'm with professional wedding planner and florist Angel Phillips and professional DJ Chad Ellis of Ellis Entertainment. These guys are amazing. Learn from y'all all the time. Thank y'all for being back on the channel to talk about weddings. We're talking about timelines today. So we talked about budgeting, numbers. We even hypothetically planned out your daughter's wedding.
That was fun.
You started with $20,000, then you moved up to $30,000, then you moved up to $40,000.
Got out of control quickly, bro.
Yes, it just gets away. Okay, but today we're talking about timeline, and we're going to try our best to stay on topic because once we get here talking, we're just talking as friends and vendors and just having a good old time. But let's talk about the wedding flow and wedding timeline. This is huge and crucial to your day. Tell us, we're going to actually talk about the beginning of the day first and then the later half of the day, which Chad, as a DJ, that's where you're rocking the night. You're doing the get down. It's going to be fun. And there's certain things that actually help open up the dance floor more and sustain it, and things that actually kill it. And just, we just want to prepare you guys to give y'all some help. So maybe you didn't have a planner. Maybe your wedding's in 1 month and you're like, oh my goodness, I need a timeline. And you didn't actually book full package planner. That's okay. Maybe we can help y'all a little bit in the timeline. The ideal thing is hire a good planner, obviously. We always say that. And they're going to give you a good timeline. Your photographer's going to work with you a lot on the timeline as well. That is number one. We're not trying to negate the need of a planner. This is not a substitute for that. We're just kind of talking through some things that we've seen, red flags we've seen, and success stories. So, Angel, take it away with an ideal timeline that you and Chad were actually a part of, and then my team did video.
Yes, your team did video.
Around where we're filming right now. So tell us about the ideal day. So, and how long is a wedding day, by the way? Is it like 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours?
About 10 hours.
Okay. For the bride?
For the bride, yes.
Okay.
So this timeline starts at 7 a.m. for hair and makeup.
Okay, 7 a.m.
But that can also vary.
What time is the ceremony, by the way, for this
Ceremony
wedding?
is at, hold on, let me tell you, it is at 5.
5 p.m. ceremony. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, 5 p.m. So 7 a.m. And that time can really vary depending on how many bridesmaids you have that has to have hair and makeup. When you hire hair and makeup, that's a good question to ask. How many girls can they handle in an hour or so time, and how many they need to bring assistants? Because sometimes brides don't think about that. We have to start hair and makeup at 5 a.m.
Right.
And that makes it an even longer wedding day.
And if you didn't book that hours with your venues, you have to do it off-site, and then you have to compensate for traveling. Okay.
Yes. So hair and makeup starts at 7.
And this hypothetical, or actually a real timeline that y'all did, y'all were all at the venue all day.
We were all there all day. Yes, we were. The girls got ready where they stayed the night before. So that
makes
helps
things
a
very
lot.
easy.
Very easy. So our photographer and videographer showed up at 11:30. They did details, which is always good to have your details ready when the photographer and videographer gets there.
And details meaning jewelry, invitations, florals.
Dress.
Your florist, by the way, needs to have it ready. Sometimes they're not actually ready.
No, they're not actually ready. And that not good for a photographer and videographer.
And you don't have to have ceremony and all this stuff. You just need the bouquet ready.
Boutonniere, yeah.
And boutonniere, okay.
Yep. A lot of times it includes their perfume bottles. Let's see.
Notes,
imitation, vow books. Yes, all those things need to be in one box.
And your photographer usually will have a checklist for you.
Yes, absolutely. So at 11:30, the photographer and videographer shows up. 12:15, getting ready photos with the girls. All bridesmaids need to be completely ready. Second shooter goes over with the guys. It's always good when you hire photographer girls to hire someone's second shooter.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. It
Absolutely.
makes a difference in the timeline.
And by the way, talking about budgeting ones in the past one, if you do hire a good mid-tier photographer, usually they come with a second shooter. A lot of their packages do.
They do.
And videographers too in that mid-tier oftentimes will come in second shooter. But if video was not quite as high priority as photo, oftentimes you'll have like a 2-team photo, maybe one videographer.
Yes.
But sometimes you have 4 cameramen, and you've probably seen it as a DJ. You're like paparazzi when you have 4 cameramen,
Yes,
right?
it's
And all the
amazing.
lighting.
Sure.
Anyway, keep going.
Every planner's dream come true when you got 4.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's see. We're going to do first looks at the bride will step in her dress at 12:45. Usually the planner will help along with the maid of honor, the mom. The mom of the bride needs to be ready at that time also.
Important.
Yes, so she can have her pictures made with her daughter getting in her dress. First look with dad is at 1 p.m.
How long does it take to get in a wedding dress, by the way?
About
people
15
underestimate it.
minutes,
Okay,
15,
15
20, just depends on how many buttons we have to get up. But 15 or 20 is a good time.
Okay. I had at one point maybe 30 minutes.
Hey, if it depends, those buttons can get,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But typically.
It's not going to be 5 minutes.
No,
probably.
not at all. Not at all.
I say 30. I'm sorry. I'm just interjecting.
go ahead. No,
just because
no.
sometimes you. Okay, I don't know if anyone has told y'all this yet, but for video world, sometimes you have to reenact something.
Mm-hmm.
So you might button up the dress, unbutton it, button it back up, unbutton it. You kind of, you get the dress ready, and then you do the moment again, and maybe another time, and maybe you go to the window, or you work the lighting out.
Yes.
There's different things, but I know it happens fast. It depends on the photographer and videographer.
We have 15 minutes here between getting in the dress.
That's probably good.
And first look with Dad, but it has taken up to 30. But 15 is usually a good number.
Okay.
This is all with everything being on time.
Yes.
Yes.
There's so many variables.
There is, and that's why we give a buffer with photography. And that's why, back again, if a timeline ever gets off, and I say this at every rehearsal, it's with hair and makeup. The girls won't always come in with clean hair. They always come in with their faces. So I always tell them, make sure your face is washed and your hair is dry and clean. Don't come in with wet hair because it's going to take longer. But if you hire a good hair and makeup team that comes in with actual team, not one girl wanting to do 12 girls' hair and makeup in a 4-hour period, you won't get behind.
Wow.
And so that's a big deal. But we do allow buffer times in case, like, it does take 30 minutes to get in your dress instead of 15, and that's what we have is 15. So we do have buffers.
Good stuff.
Let's see. 1:15, first look with groom. 1:30, all bridal party needs to be completely ready. 1:45, bride with bridesmaids with bouquets. 2 o'clock, my DJ arrives. Usually DJ arrives 2 to 3 hours. It depends on the DJ. And if they've ever been to the venue or not, how long, they come in and set up.
We usually try to, it depends on how long we've been there. If it's a new place, we're early.
Yes.
You never know what's going to happen, what the load in is, what the load out is.
And this wedding was outside, so power was an issue.
Sure.
That's another segment
Sure.
for another day.
Yeah. It was,
It sure was. Then we have a photo booth come at 2:30. Full wedding party, including the littles, is 2:30 pictures. So at this point, everybody has to be ready. So sometimes if the bridesmaids, if we're not doing PJ pics, and they don't have pictures before first looks, it gives hair and makeup a little longer to get the bridesmaids pictures done while we're doing first looks and grooms and like couple pictures. So that helps a lot.
Okay.
Just depends on what she wanted PJ pics. So everybody had to be ready by that time.
Got you.
Let's see where we're at. We have got full wedding party at 2:30. Then we got the groom and groomsmen. And then we have couple photos at 3:30. Some photographers prefer to do the couple's photos after bridal party, and then other photographers prefer to do it before whole bridal party. Okay. So that just depends on the photographer, which one this photographer wanted them afterwards. Okay. So,
and sometimes sometimes we're chasing different lighting,
exactly. All family was to arrive at 3:30. 4 o'clock was family photos. The caterer arrives at 4. Cakes arrive at 4. 4:30, couple, bridal party, and family are all tucked away to get ready for 5 o'clock ceremony.
Okay.
So ceremonies from 5 to 5:30. And then that's kind of where the DJ will take over a bit.
And you have a timeline flow, but then you just kind of leave it to the DJ.
I do. I mean, I have it on the timeline, of course, but we kind of go from there. The couple will usually private dine. I always recommend private dining, as well as I will recommend first looks, and we can touch on that here in a minute of why we think first looks.
Private dining is a big deal.
It is.
Because you will not be left alone to eat.
That's
want to
right.
eat and you want to get back with your guests. You want to enjoy the day. You're not able to do it because they will not leave you alone.
That's a true story.
They will not leave you alone.
So true.
I mean, sweetheart tables are cute and they're great for pictures. And I'm all for doing a sweetheart table, but I don't think that sweetheart table should be for them to eat. I mean, how many times have I had a couple who wants to do that, and I'll say, hey, please ask the guests to let them to eat.
Right.
And you can ask them all day long, but they're not going to.
And then I'll just say this.
Come on.
Then they're sitting there. And everybody's just watching them eat. Mm-hmm. They're just sitting there, and they're trying to eat. She's got a wedding dress on.
Yes.
They're doing this, and everybody's just sitting there looking at them. And if there's kids at the wedding, they're running up to the table, running off. That's so there's lots of factors with that. But
lots of factors.
Totally.
So usually after they private dine, while they're private dining, doing sunset photos, taking some more couples photos, I like when I coordinate to go ahead and get the buffet line open, so the guests can go ahead and be seated and eating. It's not. Most guests don't appreciate having to wait while we finish pictures. They want to go ahead and get in that line and start eating.
Even with the full bar?
Yes.
Open bar?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you have appetizer time, like you spend that extra money to have appetizers and food out there. Unless you do that, we go ahead and open that buffet.
100%.
But because they want to eat. They're
and
ready
people
to
get
eat.
tired. And if they get tired faster, what does that do, Chad?
Oh, it doesn't help me very much doing what I do. I can
Not at
assure
all.
you that.
Not
I can
at
assure
all.
you that. No, when it comes to the cocktail hour or food like that, I think a big factor in that is the time of day. Right now, we're filming this. It's December, so it's getting dark really early.
Really early.
But say we do a 3:30. We're doing several 3:30 weddings right now. It's hard to eat at 4 sometimes. So there is a buffer there. I think it depends on the time of year. You get those summer months. You get, June, July, August. We don't do very many in July here in Alabama. But when you do that and it's not dark till 8:30, if you're starting your wedding at 5, then 5 or 6 or maybe, what you need to go ahead and feed those folks, man, because Uncle Larry is getting really agitated.
Very. And you know who blames that on? The planner.
Oh,
why aren't you letting me eat?
Yeah,
it's
or when we have to call tables out and they're looking at us like, Mark.
Okay, well, number 22 of 1. I'm about to starve.
Calling tables is the bane of my existence.
Yes, Chad right here.
Brother.
Come on, man.
It's the worst thing.
Yes.
It's the worst thing.
It's like, how do I get them to hate me before we start dancing?
It's awful. Hey, I start looking around.
Good to know as a planner. I'll remember that for now on, guys.
Have we never told you that?
No, never.
Well, we're just going to do what we need to do. We're not going to tell you that.
Oh, of course, but it just, you lose. A lot of people don't listen.
Mm-hmm. True story.
They're going to get up and go eat anyway. I've actually had a coordinator come to me like, hey, what's going on?
I know.
I'm like, ma'am, I'm calling the tables. They're just up going to eat.
They're hungry.
But as it gets a little later, though, when we get into those tables, I'll tell you a little trick of the trade for me anyway.
Okay.
As we get on, once you get in, as long as the caterers aren't overwhelmed with people, sometimes if they're serving, now if it's a buffet line, and
sometimes we need to put a little pressure on the caterers to.
Well, you get.
No, I'm just kidding.
If you get 2 lines, one going on down.
It's a true story.
Yeah, each side of the table, it's moving pretty quickly.
Yes, come on, Chad.
But sometimes if they're serving and they're having to change plates out and stuff, I understand why you don't need 300 people bum rushing them. I understand that. I get that. But as we get on in and I see what's going on, I see people aren't paying much attention. This is dragging on a little bit. I'll just kind of slip on the mic and be like, guys, there's no food line police here. If you get up, nobody is going to arrest you. And then they're all like, oh, okay, thanks. Because some people are rule followers. They'll just sit there. And you can just see them steaming like they're not.
And sometimes
he's
they
not calling my name.
think that you want them to just, it's like they think you're power hungry, like control, like you're wanting to control it. And like, I don't want to feel like, I do not want to control anything.
Worse.
Y'all please go when you want to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
And people, I think naturally people are normally pretty polite. They, even when there's no, like if you're a more distant friend and family that still connect obviously with the bride and groom, people are more polite and they wait for the close family members to go first. And I don't know, calling tables.
It's tough.
It's a no for me, Chad.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
But I will say there are times when it's necessary. There's certain vibes. There's certain feelings to weddings. But
I feel like tables 1 through 4. That's close family, and bridal party, and whatever. Call them first. Everyone else up for whatever. Do whatever after that. That's my. It's like okay, we call that first. Everything else.
I'm with you. I don't like doing it, but it's just kind of part of the job with us. Sometimes you do some things you don't want to do, but and if you don't have a planner, sometimes they say we want to do this,
right?
And then you're like,
you gotta do what you
it's
gotta
not
do.
gonna work, but whatever you say, you know.
Right.
You got to deal with that sometimes. But anyway,
from your guest experience, because the bride and groom never really knows too much what happens right after the ceremony because they're doing sunset photos and stuff. So you don't really know what's going on besides what people might tell you later. So let me just go ahead and tell you, as you're planning your timeline, that there's a little bit of a lull time. But if they go immediately start eating, depending on the time of day and everything, they're not going to be bored or twiddling their thumbs. Even if you have a DJ, we're not ready to fully we're all waiting on you guys because y'all are taking photos. Y'all are the main attraction, by the way. So it's not like we're going to do, there was a creative thing where a couple did some awards for their guests, like who traveled the farthest, who was the first to RSVP, who was the last to RSVP. All these fun little things that we did during cocktail hour as we were kind of burning through time for about 45 minutes. That was fun. They gave out little chocolate gifts and stuff, kind of interactive. And there's a way to do it right. But yeah, I say let them through the line.
Agreed.
And then when they come in, do first dances, and then they've already eaten. Hopefully, they'll snack before then, maybe after. I don't know. Okay.
See, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that cocktail hour, or the time when they're getting their pictures, or maybe going to eat. For me, as a DJ, it lets me gauge the room a little bit. I can see. I like to try to do some different things with the music then, so I can see what they're bobbing their head to. What are their, just kind of set the tone for the night. And it depends on what it is. It may be Frank Sinatra, or it may be something new and upbeat. It's just whatever I'm seeing at that time.
Right.
But I really like cocktail hour when they're doing that. I'm a big fan. I'm not a big fan of, as soon as the ceremony's over, running in there. Hey, here they come. I don't like that. There's too much going on really fast.
When, like, if the couple goes off and takes sunset photos, and then the guests go ahead and get in line and eat and are seated before the couple comes in, how do you feel about that?
Oh, that is huge. And I'll tell you this. You get sometimes, and we all have a lot of experiences with different planners, different timelines, different things, but you get some of this, and I get toward the end of the night, I get a little bit of control with the mic, because I'm the only one with a microphone. So it's not a power trip. It's just I'm the one with the microphone. So I like when they are seated. We still don't have people in line.
Right.
We don't want to intro the bride and groom with people standing there with their plates. I just don't want that to happen. It's worth it to wait the extra 10 minutes, the extra 15 minutes. They're eating.
Yes.
Right.
They're not going anywhere else. Give it some time. We don't have to rush this.
That's how I try to run.
The only thing that you run into when you start getting into that is, how long have you booked your photographer for? You got a 4-hour package, 6-hour package, whatever it is. A lot of people book on time, and that's the way it needs to. That's the way they need to operate their business. I'm not knocking that at all, but I'll tell you guys this: you need to factor in the back end a little bit. There are times when we are forced to try to open a dance floor. We're forced to do some things there that the guests aren't ready for. The vibe's not right. Things aren't right, but we've got to do it. And understandably, for the videographers or for photographers or whoever's there.
Yeah.
But that's something to kind of keep in mind when we're talking about timelines and things.
Yes.
Is you really want to give a little time there, just for the food to digest.
Yes.
Right.
Just because in when you show up to a wedding as a guest, you're showing up. A lot of people are running in there with their hair on fire, trying to get there on time.
Yes.
Doing whatever they're doing. You're looking across. You're going, seeing people. You're giving the, look. Doing all those things.
Right.
But you don't get a chance to talk to them until later, during the reception, during that cocktail hour. It becomes a big family reunion.
Yes.
You're seeing people you haven't seen since college.
Right.
You've got so many things. People want to speak to each other and see each other. If you're running through there just burning it out, I'm on the microphone, the music's up loud, doing whatever, you don't get that. It is a celebration, for you guys. But it's also a celebration for your family. Like, everybody's seeing, there's a reason.
Right.
We're all busy today.
Totally.
Everybody's busy. You don't have time to see people. You can text them, you can call them, but this may be an opportunity for everybody to see each other.
Right.
So they need that dinner time. They need that time. You don't have to burn through it.
Right.
Give it some time. Just when you're planning your timeline out, it's better just to build in a little time, because it is your day.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's also your family's day. It's a big celebration for you guys. So there's a lot
And I think when I work with brides and we talk about ceremony time. That's a big factor for me because we do have so much to do after ceremony before we can even, we've got introductions, we've got first dances, we've got cake cutting, we've got to get 200 people through a buffet line before all that can even happen. So that, to me, as a coordinator and planner, that helps set what time ceremony is going to start, because some venues, the guests have to be out 9, vendors out at 10. Some venues, guests out at 10, vendors at 11. We can't have a 6 o'clock wedding and guests have to be gone at 9. There's no way to get all that in. So you have to think about those things also. Again, that's why it helps to have a coordinator. It helps to have a planner to help things that most couples wouldn't even think about. You know, oh, we've got to be at the venue at 10 o'clock and we're not having till a 6:30 ceremony. That gives you no time with your guests. And the guests come to see you. They come to celebrate you. And if you don't have time with them, they start getting aggravated.
Right. That's good stuff. And for DJ perspective as well, as a bride, it's going to be a long day for you. You got to know it's going to be a marathon. And so in order to not be exhausted by the time the dance floor does open up, make sure to get some rest, eat, stay hydrated, take it chill.
I can speak on this.
Come on.
When it is a big deal. That day, you don't understand. You guys don't understand what it's going to take out of you. And if you've ever posed for pictures for 3 and 4 hours, you got to be on the whole time. You got this. Everybody's getting your time. Everybody's coming up talking to you. There's not a minute to yourself. Right. So I'm gonna back it up here to this. The night before is a big deal.
Yes.
Your rehearsal is a big deal.
Yes.
Go through it, get all that. Word to the wise. It's not a time to stay out till 5 o'clock in the morning and party all night, because the next day is going to be the longest day of your life. You spent a lot of money. You spent a lot of time. You've got all of this going on this day. And if you're not 100% coming into it, you're not going to enjoy it the way that you think that you're going to.
That's right.
That's a true story.
So the night before, maybe even the week leading up, it's going to be a stressful time.
It is.
It is, and it takes a lot out of you. And if you're not prepared for that day, you're not going to be able to enjoy it the way that you need to enjoy it.
Incredible.
Agreed.
And this wedding, it looked like an amazing time.
It was.
Because I edited the video. It was incredible dancing time. They had hats made, shirts made.
Yes.
Okay, what time was send off? So 5 o'clock ceremony. And when was send off?
Okay. Well, they did a fake leave, and their fake leave was one of the coolest.
It was a very unique fake leave. It was.
We were on the river for this wedding that we're referencing now. We were on the river,
we were.
So they had a boat, and it was so cool. You remember editing that film?
Yes.
It was fantastic. So you're going to do that. That's not the way that you're going to leave, and it takes them a little bit to run around and come back out. Whatever. But
earlier we talked about faux leaves though, and we talked about fake leaves and talked about how sometimes when we have a faux leave on the timeline that you guys are just getting started with the dancing and stuff, and then I have to pull them out, and I'm getting those looks from y'all like, man, I just got started, and you're stopping me to do a faux sparkler leave. So I'm seeing a little more of the brides just going, you know what, I don't want to do a leave at all. Let's keep the dance floor going.
Sure.
And I think in the next couple of years that we're going to see more and more of less send-offs, especially faux send-offs, and just going straight into either a send-off or no send-offs at all.
Well, what the fake leaves are, faux send-off. There's a lot of names for it.
Sparkler, photo op.
Whatever it is. It's for one thing. And I talked about this just a few minutes ago when I said, you've got to build some time on the back end.
Right.
It's for one thing, and those are for the photographers and videographers.
Yes,
if you've contracted them for this amount of time, well, then they need to get that shot. Right. That's cool. If you want that shot, you may not want that shot. It may not be that important to you.
Right. I'm seeing more of that.
But I don't like them. It's not a thing I like. I understand the need for it. I do get it. I don't like it. We've had a trend lately of we're jumping in here and we're doing all these formalities right now.
That's my favorite.
They come in, we're doing grand entrances, we're doing the first dance, we're doing father, daughter, mother, son, all of it
Cake
at once.
cutting,
cut cake.
get it done.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing fake exit, and after that, it's party time.
Yeah, it's party time.
And that is, it's either or, because it could be either way, because I've seen those go very, very well. You know, it depends on what they're looking for in their reception. You know,
Yes.
you know, it depends on what that is. You know, if they're about more photos and things like that, and then that's great. If they're more about the party, then we need to go ahead and get all that stuff out of the way and get that done
Agreed.
before we get on, because nothing kills things. You know this. You've seen it a million times. We're going, we get going, and all of a sudden we got to stop it.
Right.
Then I got to make this announcement. We got to do this. All right, we get them going, get them going, get them. I got to stop it. I've got to make this announcement. I got to do things. Look, they're not there to see me. They don't want. You guys are listening right now. You don't want to hear my voice more than you need to. I understand this, so I don't need to be on the microphone stopping it and making announcement after announcement after announcement.
Right.
If we can just get it going,
Yep.
you do everything. I have a hard time with timelines because, especially when, and you know this, when it comes to the reception part of it, you guys have been doing this to timeline all day. With me, it starts to become fluid.
Right.
I know we're going to do this at 7, but this is going on right here. We need to wait, so we're going to back it up.
Yes.
That's why when I work with a planner, I'll just tell them, look, I know you gave me a timeline. I've got it here. But you tell me when we're ready to do this stuff. Just a little communication. And also with you guys, I won't do anything without you guys. You know,
No.
We appreciate
it's
that.
got to be filmed. It's I can't just be like, okay, at 7:00, ladies and gentlemen, we're, blah, 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 we're going to cut the
my
cake and
God,
whatever.
yeah.
And the videographer's trying to eat dinner and the
Yep.
photographer's using the bathroom or whatever they need to
Yes.
do. And there's nobody in there,
Right,
so
right.
it becomes fluid. I know it's a timeline. You need a timeline. You need an end time. You do need an end time. I can talk about that as well. You need an end time. You don't need that. You don't need to drag that end time late. There's a lot of reasons for that, but fluid, it just moves in and out in a reception. As structured as it is throughout the day. At the end of it, it's.
And I
just
agree.
kinda-
After we get those introductions, first dances, and cake cutting, I think I, as a coordinator, try real hard to just let you DJs just
Sure.
go.
Sure.
Just go
Sure.
and do your thing.
Yeah.
And just let you have it.
Yeah.
That's almost my time. I kind of just
You can decompress for a
yeah.
minute before you start your cleanup.
yes,
and the
just
things
for a
that you guys do.
second.
Right.
It's after cake cutting. I'm like, oh,
Right.
just y'all got it.
Sure.
And so,
So what time was send off? Was the fake one?
well, it
It was
was
just after dark.
it was just
right.
after
It was
dark.
right. It was right at dark. So
right at dark.
8:00? Well, time of, I forget what
Let's
time
see,
of
let
year
me
that was.
look. We did 7:30.
7:30. Okay.
I knew
Yeah.
it was just getting started.
Y'all kept going into 9 o'clock.
Oh, no.
10 o'clock.
10:30.
Well, hey, and it gets now. Listen, they're not all that way.
no, they're not.
Right.
all the way.
Right.
I started kind of, as I guess I'm getting older, and I started paying attention to the way that when you do so many, been blessed to do a few, you start seeing. You can almost see the energy in the room. I know you can.
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
You can see when it starts to go here.
Yes.
You can peek it a little bit.
Yeah.
But there is a long week, a long day that happened before this night.
Right.
And you can start watching. If you watch the bride and groom, you watch the family, you can start seeing this just try to change a little bit, and you start seeing it go down. Me, when I read that, I would much rather let's kind of end it here. Leave them wanting a little more
Yes.
than this thing dragging out with 5 guys standing out there singing,
lots of
microphones and doing whatever. And we've all done it. We've been there.
Yeah.
We're here. We're whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't personally, my company, we don't book on time, so we're there for the day.
Right.
That could get me in trouble from time to time, and not often.
But in all
it has.
fairness, this was a unique situation.
Yes.
I mean, we were at private property, so this was a little bit of a unique situation.
And that energy did not die.
It did never die.
That's amazing.
And it was one of those things where I was like, Lord help.
Yes,
Here we go again.
yeah, and I was like, Chad Ellis.
But you start looking. You see your clock.
Oh, yeah.
All
Oh,
our
yeah.
computers have clocks on them. Everything.
Yeah,
You start seeing it. You start seeing that 9:30, and then you go and then you see the 10. Usually it's on the hour.
Yeah, yeah,
We're going to
yeah.
end it at 9. We're going to end it at 9:30. We're not ever ending it at 9:45. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start seeing that click past that, I'm like, crap. I
Yeah.
still want to keep going.
Oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
keep going.
All right, let's go.
the
and
energy never
just
died.
Boom, it
That's
didn't. And that
amazing.
was
We've worked 2 weddings like that this year that the energy never died. And now this wedding that we did,
Yeah.
they would have stayed till midnight. And then the other wedding, we did have the venue till midnight.
Yes.
And we had to like literally shut it down, and everybody's like, but
Oh man.
But when you come back from that, when you leave the room with that energy like that,
Right.
and it's just a time you don't there's not many marathon dance sessions that we're
No.
going here. It just it starts to get a little. It doesn't matter how good of a DJ you are. It doesn't matter what music you're playing. There's a time here. I mean, where it needs to just kind of where if you can just feel it, they've gotten what they needed out of it. We celebrated. We've had a blast.
Yeah.
There's always a time, and I always Chad, my right hand guy, is with me here, and I'm like, Chad, I said, if we didn't play another song, we killed tonight.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and there's
I had
always that
wedding,
point.
And
Absolutely.
remember, like this last summer, the one that we had the karaoke. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah,
would have,
yeah.
yeah,
It would've just kept
It
going.
would just kept
Sure.
going, and
For
so
sure.
You can, and you've almost got to when you're us, when you're a planner, and when you do what we do with the music, you as I said, you get a little control there. I'm like, okay, look, we're all in the middle of nowhere. These people are staying in a hotel here, whatever. Like, I'm almost doing them a disservice by continuing
Yes.
on with my energy and doing what I'm doing, and it goes later in the night. And the worse it gets, it's just worse for them too.
Right,
It's
right.
better in my mind. I'll say this, and I guess I can be done with it. But if you give them that energy, it's great, it's good. But the best ones that I can remember having, when the music had to be cut off, when it was time, everybody was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Yeah,
But when
yeah.
they leave with that energy in their
Right,
memory.
right.
That's the last thing they remember.
Yes.
That
That's
wedding
good,
was like,
that's
oh my
good.
gosh, that was so much fun.
Yes.
It didn't drag on. You didn't have, somebody throwing up in the corner. Some people party a little bit, and hey, that's whatever you decide you're going to do, you do.
Right.
But like, you don't end up with a lot of that.
Absolutely.
It's in real life. Later you
good.
stay out, the more trouble you could possibly get in. It's just one of those things. I like to leave them with something. So when we shorten it a little, I'm not saying shorten it. I'm
no, because we have rules. I mean, the venues have times that we have to follow.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love
Absolutely.
it. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite things in the world to do is to tell them. The venue has a contract. We got to cut it off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're Ellis Entertainment. We're out of here.
Right, exactly.
Blame it on them, not on me.
That's right.
You don't have to
Sorry,
go home,
guys.
but you can stay here.
Oh, I do that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
That's funny, man. Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it. And
That's
as many
good.
as I've seen that feeling when they leave, if there's still a little something in the tank there, and they're like, oh my gosh, it was so much fun, they have a better experience.
That's
Yes,
good. That's
agreed.
good. That's awesome. It's good for people to hear this. What's your best advice for setting timelines that you've seen, Angel? And insert first look opinions here about first looks.
Setting timelines is know your vendor's hour. I mean, your venue's hours.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Some venues, you have it from, if you stay the night, you have it from the time you get up until, the end of the night, 9 or 10 o'clock. Some venues, you only have it for 8 hours. So timeline should definitely be based off that. First look, that's always a controversial, am I saying that word right? Yes.
Controversial, yeah.
Thank you.
Controversial?
Yeah, controversial topic with most couples. But I think as vendors sitting here, that we can all agree it makes the day go by so much smoother for the bride and groom, for the vendors, for the guests, if we do first look, because we get all the pictures out of the way before ceremony. After ceremony, that time is spent with your guests. Your whole reception is spent with the guests. We don't have to have them wait to eat, or we don't have to have a cocktail hour. But there's nothing wrong with cocktail hours. I like cocktail hours. I like past hors d'oeuvres. But I've had actually couples who will spend that cocktail time. They'll go do some sunset photos, and then they'll come back and spend some cocktail time with the guests, mingling before we go have dinner. Before we sit down and actually have dinner. And to me, my opinion is reception is meant to be with your guests, not spending 2 hours trying to make up for pictures. Also, my experience a lot with the grooms, more with the grooms than with the brides. All day they're asking about the bride, what's she doing, how's she doing. He's very jittery. He's not getting to see her. He's not getting to talk to her. And they're the ones who have to be put up all day because the bride is out getting portraits made or walking around her bridesmaids. And the groom can get very grumpy very quickly, being tucked away in a room upstairs by himself while everybody else gets to enjoy fishing or cornhole, and he's upstairs because he can't do a first look. And well, his whole day is spent by himself. And I just, as a boy mom, it's true, as a boy mom.
You can tell there's some passion coming out.
As a boy mom, I don't want my boys tucked up in a room all day. But also, I don't think that couples realize how intimate first looks really are. When you have 50, 75, 200 people, and for the first time he's seeing you all day, he's seeing you with 200 people.
Yeah.
And
it's different.
It's different. I'm not saying that you're not going to get a true reaction from him. I just feel like first looks, usually it's just the photographer, videographer, and you. And to be honest, other than private dining for just a few minutes, that's the only time that the couple is just them. That they can say their private vows, they can pray together, they can hug and cry together without 200 people looking at them. And it really is an intimate moment that I don't even think couples realize how intimate and how much that first look can be cherished. And so I think sometimes they get so caught up in tradition, which tradition is fine. It's your day. But I think we get so caught up in, well, my mom and my grandmama did it, that we're missing out on something that is really a precious, quiet time just between the couples.
You can also see, you guys have seen this a lot with you video and you being around. There's almost, when they do that first look, they have that initial, that jolt there, whatever. But then there's this, like, calm or relax, like, hey, this is okay. Like, I see you now. Like, we're good. It's, I like it. I like it for timeline purposes. Well, that's what we're talking about.
We all do.
Big time. It's big, but I understand the tradition. It's been
too.
around for a long time.
Right.
We're not burning that down.
No.
From a vendor standpoint, though, I'm a big fan of the first look. And like you said, it could be intimate. They do a lot of readings. There's things they do that really, like I've seen, holding hands and reading vows and all this stuff. Very intimate. And it's easier as a self-professed manly man. It's easier to have those feelings right there than it is in front of everybody.
And the way they react, like the actual verbal cues, like going down the aisle, you could cry, but you have to hold your thoughts to yourself until she gets all the way down, and then you still can't say anything because it's like, who gives this? All the formalities, and then you're like, and then you can finally just talk to them right after the ceremony. But then we go, sunset photos, we're going crazy. So that the first look moment is just so important for that.
And I also, watching all this just unfold, the things that I've seen, there's also another. I'm not sure the term here or how to put it into words, but when they do get to come in and they are seeing their guests and they're just kind of hanging out, and they're hugging people and kissing babies and doing all those things, but they do give themselves some time to do that before we say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce them and do whatever. And I love that. It helps me. It's not as stuffy. I don't like stuffy. I understand the need for stuffy sometimes. I understand the formalities and behind this. This is what this is. This is a wedding. It's not a frat party. I understand that. But it's human. These people are real. They're human. It's not a like okay, I can't see her. I can do this. I think you get locked into that. Like we said, like that's the way your mom did it.
Yes.
That's the way your grandmom did it. So that's the way they kind of expect it done.
Right.
But it's just, to me, there's so much more feeling involved in the whole room.
Yeah.
Yes.
The room shifts when they're just in there and they're hanging out and they're able to just enjoy it because they don't get to see them.
Absolutely.
If we wait so long, they don't come in. We finally do a grand entrance. We do all our formalities, our dances, and we do all that stuff. They cut cake. Then all of a sudden, music's up. We're dancing. They didn't get to see it. They don't get to enjoy their dancing because they are kissing babies and they are shaking hands and taking pictures while everybody else is dancing, having a good time.
Oh, yeah. Don't you hate it when the photographer's like still the couple away to go do some photos?
It's tough.
They're right in the middle.
It's tough. In general, as a rule of thumb for us, and you know this, the crowd is mostly going to be where that bride and groom.
Yes.
True story.
If you want your guests to dance, you have to be on the floor.
Come on.
And
It's the way it works.
As a boy mom,
right.
I can say this because I see it. And I love you guys. You know you're two of my most favorite people in the whole world, but you're men. And grooms, they didn't do first look. And all the groomsmen are having a drink and they're eating and having fun. And he is stuck out in the field taking pictures. Oh, he's not a happy guy.
It is not a.
He's not
a pleasurable
It's
experience.
not. And then they end up, almost arguing because he wants to be in there with his friends and she wants the picture's going to last a lifetime. Tell me, I'm telling a true
totally
story.
true. That's right.
And
Totally
so, when you're thinking about these things and you're thinking about your timeline and you're planning, those are things to think about. Because I'm going to tell you, Jacob and Joshua will be like, we've had 3 pictures and I'm done. And then whomever they're marrying will be like, we're taking 50 more pictures. And then it's,
Right.
And
Totally.
so it makes a difference. Those first looks.
Yes.
That
And for
just-
video, the audio is so important. Like being
Yes.
able to actually hear like your fiance speak back to you and that reaction.
Sure.
Photos are one thing, and the video to have that audio element, especially when you read back your personal vows or the notes you've written, it makes for an incredible film for your wedding day. Otherwise, the audio, the narration, like you watch a good movie, the good dialogue, a good story, you want to feel the story. You need that
Yes.
emotion. And so a good wedding video has those emotions. When you don't have the first look, you don't have that opportunity, as good of an opportunity to get those emotions. Sometimes you get funny reactions too, like the guy being like, oh, wow, like, dang girl, you look good, Like you get
He's definitely not doing that up there. Yeah.
No, he's not.
so
But don't y'all feel like also, though, when you do a first look, you kind of get a 2 for 1? Like, they get that intimate, that everything. But I feel like so many times when I'm getting everybody lined up and I'm sitting there talking, and I'm usually talking to the groom because he's right after parents and grandparents, and he's like, he's nervous all over again. And he's like, what is she doing back there? Is she smiling? Is she ready? And he'll be like, she's really going to marry me. Like, this is really happening. And so I feel like when you do a first look, you get it twice. You get the intimate time, and then you get that, oh man, this is really happening.
Yeah.
She's going to walk down the aisle and marry me. So nothing is being taken away
Right.
from doing a first look.
Yeah.
You're actually getting something twice, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. Totally agree. We're going to wrap this video up. I know we could talk all night,
sure could.
all
We could.
day. Hope y'all have enjoyed this. Hopefully gained some insight. There's so much nuance into the timeline, so many things that we can factor in, and it really comes down to your planner, your photographer, your videographer, your DJ, what you want for the priorities. If you don't want a big party, maybe it doesn't matter about the dancing. If you don't want the crazy, great moment of first look and for the photos and videos, maybe you don't do the first look. I don't know. But thank you guys for sharing on the page, and thank y'all for being amazing wedding vendors. Always love your planning. Thank you for everything you've done,
thank you,
Angel.
Carson.
Chad, you're amazing,
Thanks,
man.
brother.
You're
Thanks,
so
man. Thank you.
high energy.
Thank you
Bring
for
it,
having
man.
us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and
I think
hopefully
we
we'll
could
make
say the
some
same
more.
about him, right?
100%,
We could
man.
say
Look at
a
this.
1,000 things about Carson Bruce
Sure.
Media. As a
No.
DJ, as a videographer,
I
as a
appreciate
person.
it. Thank you. I hope y'all have enjoyed this, and we got some past wedding venue tours. If you've never been on the page before, we have some past venue tours you guys can check out for Birmingham and east of Birmingham, northeast Alabama area. Hopefully it's beneficial. Would love to feature other venues. If you guys know of some, drop it in the comment. If you have any questions for us, let us know too. I'm in the page, so I'd love to help answer. And if you have questions for them, let me know. But we'll see you in the next video.